Good morning. It's Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang's 3 basic methods. We have creeping snake, coiling snake, and dragon step. This morning, coiling snake. Hang on, let me turn the light on. That's better. There we go. The 3 methods, these are foundation methods. 我们说基本功 the foundation work, 基本 fundamental 功 method, kung fu, work. There are other methods that we can talk about as being foundation methods. Basic horse stance is a foundation method. The same with most of our footwork and many of the hand positions that we might use. The kinds of fists, right? There are this one, right? Everybody has these. These are fundamental. The additional elements in our Wudang 3 basic methods have a lot to do with the extent of the movement, the type of movement that we're doing, and what these movements engage. Pretty much the whole body. And the way in which we manage, the way in which we connect the internal energy. That part, I believe, is unique to Wudang's 3 basic methods, the way that I've been taught. That lineage is through Professor Liu Zhang out of Zhengzhou in Henan, China. The folks who are not connected to him don't have the same lineage. It's different. I'm going to put it that way. So what I've learned and what I teach, that's where it comes from. My own practice and the kinds of things that I do as part of what I keep. That's me. Let's get started. So some of the stretches that we're doing this morning, this one particularly comes from a different teacher. And as I'm reviewing certain things in my own mind and getting ready to look at what I'm going to do next, which is what I'm looking at right now, I have a sense that reviewing what I have, where it came from, and why I kept it matters. And that's where we're starting this morning. So, feet about shoulder width apart. This is from when I very first started learning Yang style Tai Chi, and I ended up in a class with a gentleman named Huang Weilun in Miami, Florida. And this set, along with several others, were foundation sets that he taught to go with Yang style Tai Chi. This one has the benefit of opening up the entire body and being a very complete stretch. Feet about shoulder width apart. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Open the arms. Hands circle the front, back around to both sides, up along the center line, and stretch out over the legs. Bend the knees. Roll up, and again. One more time. Fingertips up. Elbows drop down, keep going. Follow the fingertips down. Roll down through the back. Bend the knees. Arch as you come up. Keep going. Not too fast, not too slow. The movement should be fluid and connected. And return to center. One of the things that I thought about this morning was practice. What are we going to do? I've already decided what we're doing for this class, but think about it. In my experience, I'm thinking about how to say this for a second. So my experience is split between some fairly intense periods of study and my own practice. When I started out, I was studying with, I'm going to put it a different way. I was studying in an environment that was not authentic. Yeah. That still exists. They still exist. It's out there. Somebody learned a little something, and they learned a little something, and they learned a little something, and they put it together, and they stuck a name on it, and they said, this is what this is. And they can sell it, so they can sell it. I then met Huang Wei, and he was authentic. His practice and his teaching were consistent and had depth as well as breadth. So he wasn't he wasn't limited in what he was doing. Okay, that study, give or take 2 years, 3 years ish, something like that. And then I went to China and met Professor Liu Zhang. Started studying with him, and over the next 25 plus years, that study was focused, and then I'd practice. I couldn't stay in China for long periods of time, and at the point that he was able to travel here, he couldn't stay here for long periods of time either. So the daily practice, the kind of practice that I'm doing in this class, comes from me. It's my practice. Excuse me. And my practice includes certain comfort factors. It does. The ability to motivate yourself. Right? There's nobody standing over me, nobody standing around saying, yeah, you gotta do this now. The ability to motivate yourself is significant, is required if you're going to sustain your practice. It doesn't come from outside. It's easier. It's easier. If there is a social element. Hi. You guys are my social element. Y'all are my social element. Alright. It's easier to sustain that practice. Try again. Much better. Okay. I was doing some reading and I had the problem with my voice that I just had, and I did it the same thing that I just did. Salt water. Yeah, I had to look it up, but little salt water, just rinse out the back of the throat, and it clears that all right up. So, here we are. And it is much better. All right, so sustaining my own practice, having a social element to practice. When I would go to China, there was a social element. Gathering everybody'd show up at early morning, early morning, yes, early morning at the park. Hello, how are you? What are you doing? How's things? Welcome back. For me, welcome back. They were all there every day. And that difference was also something that affected my own practice. I had the opportunity to see and work with and be present when there was a whole group of people practicing what we're doing right here today. That gave me insights to how people learn, how people move, and that's different than if I had been teaching that class. Okay? It really would be different. I'm teaching now. That class was Professor Liu's class. I was a student, and that gave me, like I said, insights and opportunity to understand both what the other students were going through, because I could see them, and understand different teaching methods, because different students would have group practice and then different students would have different small group class. So I got to see all of that, and that was informative as well as helpful to me in my own teaching and my own practice. Because things that I might not have asked about on that particular day, somebody else asked about. So that social element is one of the things, and I'm talking about it this morning for a reason. That social element is one of the things that is kind of missing in this class. I can see how many people may have viewed the video. I can see if somebody liked it or not, if there's comments, but that interaction, I need to work on that, and that that needs to somehow get developed so that there's, even if I can't see through the video, that there's something more than me standing here talking or me showing a particular movement. Those kinds of videos, I've looked at what I've done, and the daily class, and I talked about this with the same idea. The daily class where I need to be on the floor now. The daily class where we're going through a particular routine and doing something, right? Lean forward, press on the knees, I'm talking while we're doing this, is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's been a good thing. I like doing it. But it's like a couple of places in this story that I've been working on. Legs to the front. It's not as clear, bend the knees. It's not as clear. And it's not as easy to follow as it could be. Pull, bend the knees. Bend the knees, bend the knees more. Pull your chest to your thighs. Drop the head. Straighten the legs if you can. And bend the knees again. Alright. sit up, relax. As I'm going through these stretches, and working on, yeah, little balance thing there. There we go. All right. Enough weight has to be on the forward leg to keep your balance, and the hip needs to be not shifted up like that, right? That hip has to stay down. This has to hold, right? Hold here. It's really not here. It's really here. Really. And lean forward. And again. One more time. All right. And hands down. Bend the knee. Knee to the shoulder. Keep the knee in the shoulder and straighten the leg. Gently. Gently. And again, relax. Stretch out over the thigh. Knee to the shoulder. Stretch. One more time. Keep the back straight. And relax. All right, come on up. And change legs. Flex the foot. Stretch out. Bend the knee. And come on back up. And stretch out again. One more time. And come on up. All right, relax. Come on, shit. All right, the point that I was making before I started that stretch was that random isn't easy to follow. It's not. And my intent when I started this class was to mirror my own training and my own practice. So I'd get up in the morning and I'd go practice. What am I going to practice today? I've worked on different things over the years, so one day I might decide for a period of time I'm going to practice Tai Chi. In another period of time I was working on Xingyi. Another period of time I was working on Bagua. Another period. Each time I learned something new. I focused my practice on that for a period of time. And then I would go back to doing other things. Or I would do several things all together in morning practice. I'm considering, I am looking at going back to doing that. I am. And that would mean that I'm not going to be doing this particular class. I'd still gonna be doing something, but I'm not sure. All right, not sure yet. That the time period, the time for practice, 5:30, 6 o'clock to 7:30 is the ideal time. It's the midpoint for yang energy, and it's also late enough that we're not struggling to try and, we don't have to struggle to try and get up at 5 o'clock. I don't anymore anyway. Alright, 5:30, start at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and do different types of practice. So maybe starting at 5:30, we're doing some stretches, and we get moving on, we're going to do some Tai Chi, and then we work on a little Bagua, and then we work on this, we work on that, depending on what it is that, for me, I've set my focus on that particular day. As I've been teaching this class, I've focused on one thing only. So today, creeping snake. Wudang's 3 basic methods, right? I'm not working on 3 basic methods and now we're going to work on Tai Chi and now we're going to work, no. I did that. There was a class that I taught. We started with Wudang's 3 basic methods. Everybody got warmed up. And then we transitioned to what people were working on. So some people over here on Tai Chi, Bagua, Xingyi. I went around to each of the groups, looked at what people were doing, gave some new movements, and helped the students learn how to do what they were doing. That was the class. After class, we went to have breakfast. Not all the time, but it was frequent. And students got to ask questions, and there was that social interaction that kept people coming back to class. Again, so there's a part of that which I need to figure out, that social part, I need to figure out here. And there's a part of that interaction that I also need to figure out. And I'm happy to have suggestions and recommendations from anybody that's watching. Seriously. Don't try and sell me something because I ain't got no money. If you're a sponsor and you'd like to sponsor me, I will happily speak to you. But if you're trying to sell me something, no, I got no money. So, there is a donate button on the site. There is, if you wanted to do that. And I've got a GoFundMe up, so they're on the funding side. The topics, the format, and the kinds of things that I'm thinking about doing are not this more random. They're more structured. I'm on the fence about that. What happens in practice, what happens as we are trying to learn, is we reveal who we are. What can I do well, what can I not do well, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. We find out who we are. And as we're going through that process, there are times when the cat can be really annoying. There are times when, there are times when we're going through that process that we need to stop and take a look at what are we doing and what have we got, where are we going. That's where I am right now. All right, so with that in mind, coiling snake, it goes all the way up and down. I did not. The twist, there's a twist here as the hands come up. As we come down, cover, right? This points down, this hand's looking for the same heel, okay? So left hand is looking for the left heel, over here. As I come up, this hand turns out to step through. The sustaining leg has to be able to take all of the weight and go up and down. It's not quite the same as with creeping snake. It's more constrained because we're coiling, not extending. All right? So, when I put my foot, this twist, right? I'm leaning. Don't lean. Put the foot, plant the heel, twist, and sink at the same time. Where am I? There's my foot. Here. If I'm leaning too much, right here, if this isn't holding, if my back is right here, if this is strained, you're leaning. Something's not in the right place. This all has to pull in. Hold through the shoulders. Pay attention to keeping the shoulders well aligned over the hip so that you don't lean. Okay? That downward, and I may use my hands here for a second, but right, so as I go down, weight on this leg over the heel. Maybe. Plant it. Twist. I'm close. I'm close. Alright, notice at the very end, I'm holding my knee. Notice at the very end, my knee started to go out a little bit too much, and I caught it and I pulled it back. I want this to stay straight and strong, not go out beyond my foot. Okay? So if my foot's turned a little bit, my knee can turn a little bit. If my foot's stuck here, the knee didn't get to turn. From here, I need to be able to go straight up. Notice that my foot is turned, my knee's okay. Okay, the knee and the toe need to stay together. It's really important. Alright, so I'm going to go that way. And I've got to use my hands. Alright, that twist to go all the way down needs to be supported through the leg, not through your hands. And this is why I'm practicing it today. I'm going to try not to take out the light fixture here. Goes all the way down. I used to be able to do that. I did. I want to be able to do that again. In Dragon Step, I'm just going to reference this for a second. In Dragon Step, there's my foot. At one point, best I could do was about 45. I'm consistently got my foot at 90 now. That's where I want it. I'm happy with that. If I go a little above 90, I'm okay with that. I'm probably never going to use it, but having that extension is a good thing. I'm happy with that. Can I, yeah. All right. Do I practice high kicks? No, I don't. Can I do them? Yes. Why don't I practice? Why have creeping snake? Creeping snake. If you can do that one, you can do the high kicks. You can't. That's the same kind of thing that we have with coiling snake. If you can go all the way up and down, there are other things you can do. All right, there's you come out of that on a shoulder roll too. Yeah, if you were inclined to do that. I'm not. I know that it's there. I don't want to do that. I did that in my younger days. I'm not going to do that right now. So it's drop here and shoulder. And then you come up in the face of whatever it was. Opportunity. There's an opportunity there. All right, so step, plant the heel. Pay attention to your weight. Where is your center? Can you go up and down? Up and down. If the answer is yes, you're good. You're in the right place. If the answer is no, you're not. Leaning forward with this particular move is my perennial fault. I tend to want to lean forward as I go down. As I come up, I also, and again, this is my correction, I tend to do this. You see where my head is? No. Don't do that. Here. Much better, right? Would you like to break my nose? Here's my nose. I mean, no. Finding that mistake, understanding that it is a mistake, and knowing how to correct it. Why is it a mistake? But I'm going this way. Why is this a mistake? Because I'm offering my face as a target. Here. No. No. And no, don't do that. All right? Don't give your opponent an opportunity that you don't have to offer. Just don't do it. All right? So what's the correct posture? Well, the head should be upright and straight, well aligned with the shoulders and well aligned through the spine, so that the neck spine and the rest of the spine are in good natural alignment, and the head is well suspended, not bobbling. No bobblehead. No bobblehead. All right. I can see everything in the room with barely moving my head. All right. That use of vision and peripheral vision is something that we want to pay attention to. I'm looking over here, but I can see everything up to about here. All right, and I can see what's behind me because I got a mirror over there. So there's that. I got the camera, so I can see what's behind me. Being able to focus on and pay attention to what's going on without this bobblehead kind of a thing, without offering your head as a target. Here, hit me. Don't, right? Those kinds of things are foundations. They're fundamental. My head's not a target. It's not. There it is. Hit me. No. Don't do that. Right? So, paying attention to what you can do. How far can I go? What can I do? What's the extent of the movement? What is the movement? Right? What movement am I doing? What's the extent of the movement? What am I doing within the movement that can be used? And how can I avoid giving my opponent any opportunities as I'm moving through? So I don't want to do anything to disadvantage myself as I'm moving. Leaning puts me at a disadvantage. I don't want to do that. That principle is part of what we want to pay attention to. All right. Coiling snake, back and forth a couple of times, not too fast, not too slow. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Pull up through the back, pull up through the center. Pay attention to opening the hip. So pull up through the hip, open the leg, bend the knee, step up, set, twist down, step out. Up, twist down, step out. Up, twist down, step out. Up, twist down, step out. Other side. Left side, up, twist down, step out. Up, twist down, step out. On the left, and the right. All right. Did you notice something about what I was doing? I'm gonna call this out for a second because it matters and it's affecting my step as I step out here on the right. I tend to turn my toe a little bit more as I drop down. As I step out here on the left, I'm turning my heel. Right? The heel is more solid. So here, turn here. Up, twist, and down. It also changes, and this is my sense of why I'm doing this. It also changes my balance point so that my balance point is slightly more forward. I want to check the old video that I have of this particular move and confirm that yes indeed that heel does move, because I'm pretty sure that it does. Right, there is considerable twisting and turning, and this goes back to, again, when I learned, I was outside on dirt. Okay, so it made some things easy because you could see the footprints. And go this way, right? It also made turning, this kind of turn, fairly easy because, well, you're on dirt. Right? So as we move Alright, right there I got it. That little bit of a twist as I go down. Here, twist, down. Start the turn. Right? Body should be straight. Twist is sharp. It can be sharp. And the turn is all the way around. Here. So, this hand is looking for this heel back here. It's alright. Little bit too forward. Right? I could have been back a little bit. I could have kept my head back a little bit more. But it was alright. That, again, this is not all the way down. Come on out. Connecting, and I talked about this a little bit with Coiling Snake yesterday, and I'm talking about it again today. This connection in the lower tantien. As we twist, spiral down, spiral up and out. That is the goal. Now, how well we can do that depends a lot on physical skill as well as being able to visualize this turn internally. What's going on? Twist and twist. That internal workmanship, nagel, that I was talking about. If that's not part of practice, then maybe it's not an internal art. This is, again, foundation and fundamental for the internal arts. Whether it's Tai Chi, Bagua Xingyi, Liu Bafa, any of the multiple systems of Qigong, everybody focuses on the lower tantien. The way that we do it in Wudang martial arts, the way that I've been taught, is the two swimming fish, the yin fish and the yang fish, and they're swimming together. And as we twist to turn down, yeah, that's what happens. Alright? That connection isn't a how do I say this? That connection requires development. It's not something that you can think about and say, okay, I thought about it, now I can do it. Like everything else, it's a skill that has to be developed. Alright, one more time, coiling snake. Pay attention, not too fast, pay attention to this idea that in the lower tantien we have this twist and a twist to extend. Feet about shoulder width apart. Pull up through the center. Step up. Twist. Twist. And twist. Twist. Alright. Relax. That takes a bit of strength through the waist. It takes focus through the lower tantien, and it takes the idea that we want this connection, that we want to have the twisting and turning be from the extension of inner energy, the internal workmanship, not the outward presentation or the outward replication. So I'm going to show something here real quick, and then I'm going to close up for today. I can do this move. Right? I just real slow. Just here's beginning move. All right. As my hands come up, I've talked about this idea that there's twist included. Right? So my hands come up. That twist is here. Here. It's not up here. Again. One more time. I extended that twist. I did. Now, I'm going to do this. If this is wrong, don't do it. Okay? Don't do that. It's not the same. That one that I just did, that was correct. That idea that I can use my elbow from my elbow down and I can flick my hands up and that's somehow the expression of that energy. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. The connection takes knowing that it's there, right? That it should be there. Takes understanding how the physical body is connected. How are my feet connected? How are my legs connected? What can I do with which muscle groups in which kinds of movements? And then it takes an understanding of the internal workmanship and how we connect what we're doing physically with what we're doing internally. What's going on with the internal energy? What's going on with the breath? What's going on with the chi? What's going on with the shun, jing, chi, breath, energy, spirit? These are all connected in what we're doing. If they're not, there's something missing. So how do we develop that? We practice. We have to first know that these things exist, that they're there, that they're possible to discover in ourselves and to cultivate. And then we have to understand how to do that, how to get started. Having somebody help get that started, you need that. Somebody has to provide, there has to be a teacher somewhere that gives the instruction, that lets you open that door to understanding what it is that you're trying to learn, what it is you're looking at, so that you can see it for yourself. And then you decide, do I want to practice this or not? And in my case, I decided I was going to practice a whole bunch of things. So I'm still here. That process is a discovery process. It's something that as we develop skills, as we discover what we want to practice, we also discover what we like, what we don't like, what we're going to keep, and what we're not. That process of learning, that's something that I have been hoping to promote and want to continue to promote. Again, I'm going to look at some different things over the next few weeks, see what I might do next. There will be some changes coming. In the meantime, next week I'll review a few things on sword, Wudang Tai Chi sword. We'll do a little bit more of these basic sets, and Thursday and Friday, Qigong. Tomorrow, foundation sets, Wudang Qigong Friday, the advanced sets. I hope you'll join me. Thank you.